right at 7 o'clock. Day number 2, which day number 1 wasn't much. Just to check in. Most people in this room got primitive fire one way or another. Dave's getting on to him down there with the poison. So we got the award ceremony coming up, and then a Pathfinder challenge and 5 C's of survival.
Okay, guys, we go ahead and get started here. Real quick, a couple of things that we're going to do tonight. First of all, we're going to have an award ceremony. Every year we recognize people within the Pathfinder family, and I say family because we're all a family at this school, that have made certain achievements throughout the year that have not been recognized since the last gathering, or that accomplished things before the gathering that are important or outstanding in comparison to other events. We also are going to have our Pathfinder challenge tonight. We'll have one basic challenge for anyone to participate in for a prize, and we're going to have a more sophisticated challenge that's only going to be open to graduates of the Pathfinder Advanced class, because it's a very difficult challenge, and it will be for a prize as well. Go there with Nana, baby. We're going to, if you notice, we've got this thing set up till 8:30. It ain't going to take us that long, most likely. I'm going to go back through some of the slide presentation that we went through the other night for those of you who weren't here, but for also, there was a little bit of confusion, I think, because we've got a lot of new people this year to the Pathfinder School that don't understand some of the things that I talked about as far as the 5 C's of survivability goes. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, because our special guest speaker that was supposed to be here tonight, Kim Hunt, from the USDA trapping, the USDA trapper, has pneumonia, so he couldn't make it. So we're going to take that and replace it there for a few minutes, and then we're going to start the moccasin building class tonight underneath this overhang. For those of you who signed up for moccasin building, or anyone who just wants to learn how to make moccasins, we're going to have that class with Alec Foreman underneath this overhang, along with continuing the bow making class after this is all over. So the first thing that I want to talk about real quick as far as achievements, and I'm kind of proud of this specifically because it involved my family. One of the things that the Pathfinder School that we do in our basic classes is to graduate the class. At the end, you have a cumulative test along with a written test. But it's a cumulative test of skills of everything that you've learned throughout the 4 days. And what you have to do is you have to go on about a 1.5 mile navigation course in the dark with a team member and one headlight. You have to navigate that course carrying an ember, not a fire, an ember, all the way around that course. When you get back to camp, you have to then start a fire with that ember that you've using only the materials that you've collected on the 2-mile navigation course in the dark. And you have to boil 32 ounces of water and build a 5-minute shelter, what we call a 5-minute shelter, within 15 minutes to pass the basic class. Sounds pretty tough. It is pretty tough. This year in the basic class, just a few months ago, my wife Iris, who is the Pathfinder School photographer, so she's been to almost every class, including a lot of advanced classes, and participated in them, but never actually done all the challenges and deliverables, took the basic class with my daughter Sierra, thinking that it was the right thing to do was to go ahead and start knocking out some of this Pathfinder stuff so she could work her way up toward being a full instructor. Sierra and Iris came back from the navigation course, started their fire, built their shelter, and boiled their water in 6 minutes and 52 seconds, which was a new Pathfinder School record. Yeah. As some of you know in this room, we are affiliated at the Pathfinder School with a couple of different organizations. One of them is the National Pathfinder Youth Organization. The other one is Frontier Christian University. We do a lot of training with Frontier Christian University. We teach a lot of classes with them, for them, and we're very involved with Frontier Christian University. So to that end, before we do the award ceremony for the Pathfinder School, I wanted to let Jason Hunt take care of something that he's got to do tonight.
Well, we don't get to hand out many of these big diplomas. This is a big diploma in here. We don't get to hand out many of these, and the student that's here tonight doesn't even know they're getting it yet. They don't know they've been finished. So the person that earned this one is earned their Doctor of Ministry, Brian Harden. So come on. So he's worked hard for it for well over 6 years. So that tells you how much effort goes into earning these. We don't give them out. So
Atta boy.
in 12 years, we're only giving out gold.
Okay, so don't go anywhere, Jason,
Oh,
since you're up here. Jason Hunt is also a Pathfinder School student and an associate instructor at the Pathfinder School. He teaches wilderness first aid CPR. We had a very extensive wilderness first aid CPR class at the school with lots and lots of field exercises on the 4,000 acres that we have access to at the Pathfinder School, to include full-on search and rescue exercises. Jason is completing Pathfinder phase training within the system so that he can become an instructor as well. And he has completed Pathfinder Phase 2 now, so he has earned a certificate.
Show it up here.
Okay, so
There it
now,
is, boy.
I got some tricky stuff going on here, guys, so bear with me for a minute, because I wasn't quite prepared for what I had going on here. To become an instructor at the Pathfinder School, and this is, we're talking pretty much the people you see wearing orange shirts around here, for the most part, there are several requirements that you have to meet. The first one is you have to complete Pathfinder Phase 1 e-course. You have to complete Pathfinder Phase 2 e-course. You have to pass an advanced class, a Pathfinder Advanced Training class. And you also have to have wilderness first aid and CPR and some type of specialty classes in your background that are taught at the Pathfinder School or elsewhere of at least 2 different types. We have a very special young lady with us tonight who is the youngest person to ever receive a full-on instructorship at the Pathfinder School. She's not only passed Pathfinder Phase 1, Pathfinder Phase 2, and Pathfinder Phase 3, being the second person to ever pass Pathfinder Phase 3. She's also completed 2 Pathfinder Advanced classes. One of them in the Florida Everglades, 7 miles deep, for 5 days with her father, and one of them in Ohio. Bow drill fire, the whole 9 yards. And her name is Courtney Stotts. There's another little twist to the story here, and we'll get to it in a minute with some other people. But so Courtney has passed Pathfinder Phase 2. She has, and I'm going to get the heck fire. I'm going to do this in. You're also going to get an instructor certificate, but this is just like a phony one, okay? But we're going to send you the real one, okay, in a frame. I bet you caught me by surprise on some of this stuff, okay? Because Jeremy Janey is the guy that grades all the deliverables, does all that stuff. I just know what classes you've been to, all right? So you got your instructor certificate. Now, once you have completed Pathfinder Phase 3, which is a very difficult phase of the Pathfinder system, Pathfinder Phase 3 gets into the 21st century long hunter mentality that we're going to talk about a little bit more tonight. But it forces you to complete 44 projects on your own that include everything from hand weaving a 12-foot tump line to carry your bedroll, to making your own hunting shirt out of wool, hand sewing it yourself, brain tanning hides, making moccasins, all the things that will make you self-sustainable in a wilderness environment. You have to complete the projects and turn these in for a pass-fail grade. Courtney has done all of those